Joining us from the White House is South Shore Press, White House and Washington correspondent Neil McCabe. How are you, sir?
Fantastic, Stefan. Good to be with you.
Always good to see you. How big of a victory is it for the Trump administration for this attorney general pick going through?
So the president swore in Todd Blanche as attorney general in the Oval at 2 p.m. That vote was done in the Senate early Saturday morning. It was 50-49, very tight, because Collins and Murkowski crossed the aisle to vote against Blanche, and McConnell, who was resting in his Capitol Hill townhouse 1,000 yards away, did not show up. But it was tight, but it was a victory. And it was a victory for the president, not only to get his attorney general confirmed, but also as a validation of his administration of justice, which has been under fire. And so now he can take that validation and he can build on it going forward, Stefan.
How much was on the line here for the Trump administration to make sure this pick went through?
When the president fired Pam Bondi, remember, that was the day of oral arguments for birthright citizenship. And the president was so angry about the way the oral arguments was going, he left as soon as John Sauer, the Solicitor General, was finished. He didn't wait for the other side to make their arguments. He climbed into the beast to go back to the White House. Pam Bondi was warned, do not go near the boss right now. He's in an odd mood. She says, no problem. She climbs in the beast. He looks at her, fires her as attorney general. So that's April. They gave Todd Blanche roughly 90 days. It turned out to be more than 90 days to basically earn the job. First thing they were worried about is would there be a confirmation for a Supreme Court justice, because there was talk that Samuel Alito would retire, and a Supreme Court justice confirmation is extremely expensive, even more expensive than an attorney general, which is still very expensive. A lot of backroom deals were done to get this thing through, but the important thing is it got through. If they were able to block Todd Blanche, that would have been a serious, significant blow to President Trump and his sort of political prestige and the amount of fear he's able to generate in Republican leadership. His whole program depends on Republican leaders being afraid of him because he can deliver the votes. And if he loses, that's a problem, Stefan.
And a lot of people in conservative circles, at least, Neil, are saying, okay, where are the convictions? You know, the conservative movement was promised, the MAGA movement was promised, hey, there's going to be scalps, we're going to go after these folks. Is that the mindset now of, okay, we got our guy in, and now there's hell to pay?
One of the problems is structural, because the actual maneuver elements of the Justice Department are the U.S. attorney's offices. 30% of the U.S. attorneys are appointed by federal judges because President Trump couldn't get Senate confirmation for his pick. And in these blue states, the Democratic senators have a veto over who Trump wants. And that's a veto, the blue slip, that is backed by Thune, the majority leader, and Grassley, who is the chairman of Judiciary. If you don't have control of your U.S. attorney's offices, you can't get anything done, which is why they had to create a new assistant attorney general for fraud with Colin McDonald, because they couldn't get the blue state prosecutors to go after fraud in blue states. And so you'll see some movement now that Todd Blanche has the confirmation. He's now the attorney general in his own right. But really, the action is in those local federal prosecutors.